Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Netrunner stream. This one's pretty impromptu, just like the last one. Today we're gonna play some Lat, um, and I have three different Lat builds. Basically, yeah, this is Lat over here. He's just kind of a value ID you get to draw under certain circumstances, and he provides a link. So he's like the most generic value ID you get out of Shaper right now. You can play more ambitious IDs like Smoke, for example, like this list over here. But Lat is kind of, yeah, a generalist ID that can do all different things. And the question is, how do you make good use out of that? And also, I guess, how do you make use of playing Shaper in general? Why should you be playing Shaper over other things? So Shaper has good draw, good multi-access on, especially on R&D, like cards like Deepdive. You have Conduit. You have, and for draw again, you have Diesel, of course. You have Nuka. That's not in this list, but we all know this card. Yeah. You can click her twice to draw 3 cards every time. That's a lot of draw. Now, so you have all these things. You have some decent event economy in cards like Creative Commission. But yes, you have that. You have some good resources like Beth. Sometimes you can play a list that uses Aesop's Pawn Shop to get a lot of money that way. But and also you have self-modifying code, good card to just be able to tutor out things. So you have pretty good consistency because you have good draw. You can get out the programs that you want depending on the situation easily with self-modifying code. So those are some strengths. And also traditionally, a strength was having a very, very strong final rig. But you can still do that. But because of the banning of Reseki, you don't have the infinite drip. Because of the banning of endurance, you don't get as much early game strength where you can get into any server early, and then you have like a sustained run value throughout the entire game, as well as the 2 memory slots. That was a big deal. So what the hell do you do when you don't have access to that? So one way, again, that you can play Shaper is to play Smoke, which just makes you incredibly efficient at breaking ice. So this is if you want to go for a late game rig that's just like really good at getting through ice. But what if you want to do something different? Like you can still do that thing out of Lat, probably. Similar thing to this list. And I might even try that out during this stream to play Cleaver and Buzzsaw, and then you have Turbine to back them up, because these cards become incredibly efficient at breaking things once you have once they're at a higher starting strength, because they cost a lot to boost in terms of strength, but breaking is really cheap. So if you can boost their strength with Turbine, they become completely insane. And yes, but that is not the kind of Lat I'm trying to do today, because that is a very ambitious rig that doesn't really do that much for us until we assemble it. That doesn't mean it's bad. It's just not what I want to be doing today. I want to be... I might still do it today, but the first thing we're going to try are deep dive decks. So again, Strength and Shaper is the multi-axis, specifically on R&D. And I like playing deep dive decks with Lat, and having a lot of draw that we get from Lat, a bunch of general value, helps us draw our deep dive pieces earlier. And what I found with the deep dive is it's a card, either you can play it as a finisher in a really slow deck, where you, like Smoke, for example, where you have a huge amount of value for making runs, sustained value, where you don't have to pay that much for running, so eventually later in the game you can land a deep dive and finish the game that way. Or you can play a deck that tries to go very, very fast and play a lot of deep dives before our opponent has the time to assemble a huge defense on their central servers. They might even be playing a deck that can't do that. So to here today, I have some lists that I've already tried and feel like, well, one of them, this one in particular, feels like it's a decent concept, but it has some problems. So this one tries to draw through your deck very fast. We have an incredible amount of draw with both Diesel and Steelskin Scarring. We are playing events for economy, which means we don't really have sustained economy. So we have Creative Commission, Diesel, Dirty Laundry, Overclock, Sure Gamble. All of those provide money. Anicam provides us draw when we play all these events. Then the big thing we are playing is 3 Synth Gland, which will just deal 2 core damage to us when we play it, but it gives us an extra click on each of our turns. So if we can play this super early, we get an extra click on each of our turns, and that makes it so playing a deep dive where we can spend an extra click to steal an extra agenda becomes easier to do. And yeah, of course, we're playing 3 deep dives, and we're also playing 1 encore because, again, sometimes you play against tag decks where you want to be deep diving, and maybe you have a click left over, then you can use encore, clear all your tags, or whatever, just gain a turn, which is nice. Hey to Harald in chat. Harald, yeah, let me know if is it good like this, or should I have background music when I talk? I'm not sure. I had a guy on the Harry Potter stream comment saying that it was annoying when there was just 1 track, but I could make it like a playlist so that it's more varied, but just something soft in the background. Because sometimes when I'm not talking, it can be a lot of just empty space. I do talk a lot though, but yeah, that's something I would like to hear what people think. But let me just make sure that this tab is muted. Yeah, there we go. Anyway, so yeah, so this deck, it can draw a lot, and you can deep dive, and you have mechanocytes to get your hand size back up to 5. The problem, though, is that doesn't really help if you're up against a deck that plays ontological dependence, because this card doesn't care about what your hand size is. It just cares how much core damage you have, and you cannot repair core damage. Once our core is damaged, we can't do anything about it. We can pretend by playing the mechanocytes, but we'll never be the same. So yeah, the mechanocytes can help to get our hand size back, but it doesn't completely fix it. So with this deck, we're basically just hoping that we don't face that kind of deck. And then we're trying to make some use out of the fact that we will be taking damage. So we're playing bin breakers that will just be trashed when we take damage, and then we can install them from the heap. And again, Steelskin Scarring, if that is trashed by the Synth Gland or the mechanocytes, then we get to draw. And then we're playing some standard resources, and some of these can also help with Deep Dive. Beth can give an extra click. We have Daily Cast. Fenris can also become Sable, and that means you can get an extra click that way. The Hunting Grounds is just there against tech for random nonsense, but I'm not sure it should be there. So, is my... Yeah, I thought my sound wasn't working, but it is. So, okay. So the Hunting Grounds, you can... Yes, you could probably swap it out, but if you're scared, again, of certain cards like Loki, then keep it in there, I suppose. So the breakers are pretty simple. You play 1 Turbine just to make them a bit more efficient, but we're kind of trying to win the game before it becomes too much of a problem to break ice. We don't have infinite money because all of our money comes from events. And yeah, self-modifying code to fetch a breaker that we're missing. Misdirection, of course, against tags. So that's basically the deck. It seems to be reasonably quick. But the problem is it doesn't do a whole lot if you don't get the synth gland on time. So there are some problems, and this is not like a final concept. So I wasn't satisfied with this, especially because, again, it just makes decks that play ontological dependence even harder to face. But I will still show this. Then this deck is a typical thing when you face a problem like this. Was trying to fix the problem of taking core damage by putting Heartbeat into the deck. So if you have Heartbeat, then you can prevent the core damage when you're supposed to be taking it, and then you can use a card like Harbinger to stop the core damage. But that is not the greatest solution, because then you have to have the Heartbeat before you play the Synth Gland. It introduces consistency issues. And yeah, it just takes a lot of time to assemble. It's not very convenient at all. So this idea wasn't perfect either. So I wanted to make more of a reg version of this. So this is the reg version of the Deepdive Lat, which tries to just get the extra click from DJ and from Beth, and that's it. We're basically admitting here that the other plans, maybe they were too ambitious or too clunky. And this is something I haven't tested yet, so that's going to be part of today. Trying a Deepdive Lat that is a more reg Lat, where we're actually trying to stop fast advance with Clot like normal shapers try to do. We try to slow our opponent down a little bit with Tapworm. We're just playing regular breakers, although these are not that common in Shaper, right? Or Bookhalter is not that common in Shaper. But we're trying to have kind of a lean rig, simple breakers like Bookhalter, Paperclip, and Unity, just efficient breakers, back them up with Turbine. Nothing fancy where we want like double Turbine, Buzzsaw, and Cleaver, although that may be a good build. And the rest is just, again, because we're choosing Anicam as our console, a lot of events, so a lot of event economy plus Jailbreak. We can get some accesses and hit a central server and then use Tapworm or install Tapworm afterwards. So we can have some synergy between those. Yeah, so those are the Lat decks that I have right now. The idea is, so I will start by playing this, the really greedy or very aggressive deep dive deck that's like totally all in on the deep dive plan. You could also play this with moshing, and then the idea is to play this more reg version of the deck, and then we'll see where we go from there. I might try to build the Cleaver Buzzsaw Lat as well. But yeah, let's get into some games without further ado. So I'll host one. And yeah. Oh, we got someone joining right away. And I will fetch some water. All right, so far so good. If we get the Synth Gland in our start hand, I think we should be happy. Maybe I don't play it absolutely right away. So I'll keep this one. And we're up against Spark, very unusual identity. Typically, Spark is bad at defending central servers, so should be a good matchup. Right, so the mechanocytes may be necessary just to make sure we have max hand size 5. And the reason why that's important is because if our opponent is above 3 cards, we want to be able to match that so that we can get the draw from Lat. So I'll start with a diesel. So we can play a Mechanocytes here and lose a random card, and hopefully we don't lose the Synth Gland or the Commission. Although probably I should do it the other way around, where I play the Synth Gland first. Yeah, I think so, because I have 2 Mechanocytes. Let's do that. So we lose. Yeah, we lose Hunting Grounds and the other Mechanocytes, so that's fine. And then I think we play the other one. And we hit the Deepdive, that's okay. Yeah, he rests this Merrily campaign and we could go trash it, but I figure we don't care that much. We just don't want to get hit by hard-hitting news, so let's just get the money and pass. And it's a Bladder Word Spark, apparently. But that triggers the Steel Skin. So we already have the extra click every turn now. So now we just need some deep dives. We lost one, but we have 2 more in the deck, and we have Fenris to get back extra copies. So let's draw. And we could even, I think, go and trash these. I guess at least the Bladder Wart is good to get rid of. We have Misdirection in case we get hit by a hard-hitting news. So we want to end our turn at 4 cards as well. So we get the Lat draw. So we draw 1 more. And I think we run, but we don't use the Laundry. We can save it. And then we can end our turn by playing Commission and get our card back. That seems good. So trash it. And alright, we try to get the Lat draw. Yep. Get the Lat draw. Whatever this matchup is, it seems it might be like the absolute ideal matchup for this deck, because he seems like he's not protecting centrals at all. Hard-hitting news. That seems wrong. So, well, okay, so I can pay 7 to not get the tags, but it's cheaper to just take the tags, I think. Misdirection, install, and then we pay 4. So it's 2 clicks and 4 credits, or 7 credits right away, plus the click to install. Yeah, I think we just take the tags. All right. And we want to end our turn at 4 cards once again. Maybe we go and trash one of the campaigns. So question is if we do that with Dirty Laundry or not. So we can run, trash. We'll be at 4 clicks. So Misdirection, that's 3 clicks. So we have 2 clicks beyond that. So Laundry and draw. Right, so that's 4, and then I can draw. That makes sense, I guess. And we clear tags. We get the draw. There's our deep dive. Although, yeah, I'm noticing Yeah, we played 3 money events, but we still feel short on money. It may be a problem with this deck that it just doesn't have enough money events. Again, a problem in general with this, like you would like to play 3 more sure gambles or whatever, but you just can't. So we draw. Yeah, this isn't exactly what we're hoping for. All right, so we install the daily cast. Guess take a credit, and then we can pitch our bin breakers. So, and yeah, this stream is definitely just learning as we go. Because I haven't found a convincing lat build so far, and I haven't played it that much this meta. But yeah, I would say the main problem with this deck is that the money is not permanent, beyond the fact that you're just taking 2 core and making ontological dependence so good. Yeah. And see, this is another problem. We have 3 synth glands in the deck, but after you install the first one, you don't want any additional copies, so they will be dead draws. But you still want to play 3, so you can play it early. Yeah, maybe a version with moshing is better, just because you have all these dead draws, and moshing also gives you money. So you get the draw, but you also get money. Anyway, so we draw. And yeah. I'm just not getting any money cards. We keep trying to find them. Oh yeah, this was another piece of synergy that I didn't mention. Like, if you trash your own events with Anikam, with Synth Gland, you still get a draw. Although that's not as important, I guess, but it's a neat little thing. I think here we just click for money. And we get a card. There's some money. Okay, use it 3 cards. So I could draw 1 and play 4. And still be at 3. Now we're getting some money. So we just play. Yeah, this is a bit awkward. We can get the draw from Lat or from Anikam. It doesn't matter much, I guess. So we get it from Anikam, I suppose. Because I don't want to install both the... Oh, right, this one. He gains money when we use a click to gain money. You should probably just rest that right away, preemptively. And it's only, yeah, it's the first time and we already clicked for a credit. So we can click again. Play create a commission, get a card. Then we have to pitch one. All right, but we're gaining a lot of money. At this point, I think we can safely deep dive. I guess we don't know if this is one of those lists that plays newest team and he's just hiding one in archives. And there we get eyes. Yeah, so I guess we'll wait one turn because we don't want to waste. We don't want to run when we only have one clip left over, and I want to have the option to install paperclip. So let's start by drawing. We can do that by playing this. Then we can install some stuff. I think so. Install one more. Yeah, we can install two more. One prepaid. So now we get the lat draw, and on the next turn. Oh, I'm too sleepy today. Now I forgot to install the SMC. We could still probably face check it if it is a barrier. Then it's either ping or IP block. Probably IP block. We can win the trace, I suppose. And if it's a ping, we can clear the tag and go back in on another turn. Okay, it's a Rela deck. Oh, it's a money. And a license acquisition, so he gets to get an upgrade or asset back for free. Gets to rest it for free. Oh, so this is the combo. Right. Wait, what? How did he... Oh, it's installed from hand. No, he didn't. He just trashed it. Oh, okay. So he's installing another card from archives, and then he can rest this Sansan for free. That's nice. Yeah, I guess we pay 2 to not have a money bounce something. And he gets to install another card. Ooh, nice. And yeah, he can combo like this. So for this one, we have to pay 1. And I guess, yeah, he can score any amount of 2 1s he has in his hand this way. So maybe another one. 15 minutes. And we have to pay 1 more. Okay. So maybe we take 1 turn to just check what this is. Get some money. SMC. Run server 4. And we want to trash this Sansan too. Seems risky to install this given that he can't afford to Oh yeah, maybe. Yeah, I'm being sloppy today. Amani, yeah, probably we should trash Amani before going in, because that's just 4 credits, and now we have to pay 3 just to not have something bounced. Let's get rid of the Sansa so he can't score from hand. And the Arella, I guess we don't care that much about. And I think after that we just click. We can save the gamble for a turn where we... No, I definitely super duper fucked up here. Because if we go for a deep dive... Well, maybe at that point we don't care about Amani. We take a... Yeah, it might be we just win the game on the deep dive. So... Hey, we got a legend in the chat. What's up, Asker? Assuming that only Swedes are watching? Well, we got Harald. And... yeah, this is not my greatest game. Should probably have popped the Spin Doctor too, but we can do it on the deep dive turn. Oh, it looks like he's protecting the... No, I guess he misinstalled. Okay. Tiered subscription. Yeah, I think... Harald is in plural. Nice. Okay. Yeah, don't judge me too much for this game. It's not been my greatest one. Yeah, let's check server 4 and force the rest here. Another Amani. But at least that means we get another agenda. Okay, so we pay 3 for this. So now we can win on a deep dive, so maybe we don't need to... I guess we don't need to trash this other Amani. Is what I'm thinking. Well, it's kind of a hopeful mindset. We may not win on the deep dive, but we definitely could, so. Yeah, this deck is pretty spicy. Encore does work well if you're playing like a super all-in deep dive deck. I think sometimes you can even just early, if they don't ice, you can just like get some accesses and play it. But all right, so maybe this is the turn where we go for the deep dive. Well, I guess are we in a rush? Could maybe get some more cash first. Could draw into overclock here and check the remote again. I can chill a little bit. Okay, so we got the overclock. Can overclock the Amani. Or just overclock server 4, and if it doesn't rest, then... I don't know, I feel it's spicy just to play the Synth Gland and Encore and Scarring and all this stuff. I feel like the whole deck is just... spice, but maybe I'm wrong. So now we can get the clip for free. Sort of. Yeah, so, I mean, he does get a lot of Amani triggers, but we have 6 points, so we don't care, I guess. We just clear, pitch this. Yeah, because now with the deep dive, we only need to hit 1 card. So I need to find, I want to show my old. Yeah, because this game is basically over. I'll get right back to it, but I wanted to show like an old deep dive deck. I'll get back to this in just a second. So hard-hitting news. Yeah, we'll just take the tags. That's fine. So I guess we risk losing a deep dive to this bladder wart, but that's not the end of the world. We could trash it too. I can clear here, I guess. Yeah, the bladder wart doesn't even deal damage at the moment, and he doesn't have a way to make it deal damage either. But yeah, unfortunately, this build seems too inconsistent to really work. Needs more economy pieces. All right, so do we deep dive now? It's kind of greedy, but I mean, we can check what the ice is, I suppose. Or just wait 1 more turn. Just take some money. We could diesel. Yeah, we can diesel. Chill for a turn. There's an overclock. Oh, whoops. We don't want to take 2 extra core. This is not a good idea. Yeah, so we just take money. And we pitch these. Yeah, because in case this is some good ice, I don't know what really we would be worried about, but just want to make sure that we actually get the score. He just keeps putting stuff in the remote that he can't actually protect. But I'm falling for it this time. Alright, but the deep dive should win the game. If it doesn't, I guess we'll encore and then check and then deep dive again. I don't know. Oh right, I should do full screen as long as, yeah, that still looks fine. I could zoom in a little bit maybe. Something like this. Let me know if it looks okay. The only problem with zooming in is when they have a lot of remotes, you can't actually see them all. So maybe in this game, it's better to have a bit more zoomed out. So now he's not doing anything. Well, next turn should be overclock HQ, check R&D, check archives, then deep dive, I think. Oh, is it me who disconnected? I have to refresh. I didn't realize. Did the game just disappear? Looks like maybe he... No, I can rejoin. There we go. So, in the Kagolskab in the chat, what is the May tournament? Okay, let's try to win this game. Go for HQ. Let's try to get that anticlimactic win, where we access the agenda before we deep dive. Damn. Got the Hydra. R&D. We trash it to see more cards, I guess. Startup GNK. I guess I'll have a look at the tournament. I don't know if I'm gonna make it there. But there's also Swedish nationals reasonably soon. Maybe you can pitch it in the chat, Harald, if you're still there. Oh, we seriously didn't hit anything with the deep dive. No. I was tired of this game. Okay. I guess we just play the Encore then. Encore. We get one more try. The deck has been shuffled. Run HQ again. It is a toll booth. Right, so if we orchestra this, that's a lot of money. 3-2. Encore... I mean, Encore does protect us from HHN, but it also protects us from if they have like Ping and Funhouse on their centrals. It allows you to do all of that stuff and then clear all the tags as well. So I could technically orchestra and still deep dive here. But now I don't know if I want to. So install 3, pay 6 to break this. I'm at 1 credit, but I have 1 credit on the voice pad. I mean, I feel like there should be an agenda I can steal. Given this agenda suite, I'm not sure. There's 2 more 1-pointers. I'm assuming 3 freedom of information, 1 Beal. I don't think there's Bologna in this list. I would assume there's just more 3-2s that he can score from with the Sansan. I feel like the other stuff doesn't make any sense. Do we just check for those instead of going for this all-in play? Now we gotta entertain you guys, right? Oh wait, no. Oh, I still had not paid for the encounter. I can't break it. Never mind. Yeah, so doesn't matter. We end the run. I didn't think about this. Thought we already paid. Okay, so we check the remote. And we are totally out of steam. Bladder words. Yeah. That's fine. We just check R&D until we find the agenda. There we go. Okay. Yeah, so now you've seen this deck, and it's kind of clunky. the overall idea isn't terrible, because I've seen it work in with a different build that I wanted to show. Where did I have this? Yes. So this deck, Tunnel Vision, I built it way back when Out of the Ashes was still legal, and they had like pre-released Deepdive, so you could play Deepdive but not the other cards from the Midnight Sun set. And this list was actually seemed really, really good. And the beautiful thing here was that you didn't have to play any stupid synth glands to do your deep dives. You could play Out of the Ashes, and using Out of the Ashes, you could play 2 deep dives in the same turn, and so you could go from like 0 points to 7 in one turn with the help of this card. Now, the problem with Synth Gland is you have to run through all the ice on the centrals. You have to run the centrals 1 time each just to get 1 deep dive, and then you would have to play another deep dive later on, go through the ice again. Whereas with this deck, in a lot of cases, you could go through the ice on each of the centrals only once, which means that the money that you did have was more efficient. You could make more use out of it. And this worked pretty well because you could play Moshing and trash the Out of the Ashes. You still had Reseki, you still had Pad Tap, so you had some better economy overall. Yeah, maybe I need, if you play this kind of list, you need to add Telework Contract or something. I don't know. The money is not there. You would like more event money so you can make use of Anicam, make use of the prepaid voice pad. But this is like the list I just played. It's trying to be this Tunnel Vision list, except you're sort of hoping that the fact that you get extra clicks earlier on that you can use for other things, like that sustained value makes up for the fact that it's harder to do the deep dives, but it doesn't, because this is the whole point. Yeah, so this list is trying to be this other list. It can't be, and it's sad about it. So the other list I had today, this Can't You Hear My Heart Beat Fast? I Want This to Lat. This is something you playing Heartbeat doesn't really. Again, I'm not gonna play this on stream because this just didn't work at all. If you're gonna do something like that where you're pretty all in on the deep dive, I feel like you should embrace that you are all in and embrace the weaknesses that come with it, like the weakness of ontological dependence. And yeah, just try to ignore the bad matchups, make it efficient for the matchups that aren't bad, and that may work. So maybe you could tune this somehow. But yeah, right now, not liking it. And this Heartbeat Lat, it's like you're trying to solve the problem of the synth gland damaging you, but you're doing it in a way that makes you much slower, and then you're introducing new problems. So this isn't great either. So now we're gonna try the Regass Whack-Ass Lat, but I have to go to the bathroom real quick, so I'll be right back. I guess maybe I can leave this up on the screen in the meantime. So be right back. And I just realized maybe I should have full screen this because, well, you could still see all the cards. You just couldn't see all the influence pips. So I guess it's okay. Yeah. So we have the Regass Whack-Ass Lat. Let's host a game. And this build, this is literally the first version of this build. It has not been refined at all. It's just a concept. And yeah, so Anakim prepaid is kind of nice, but the fact that you have like Dirty Laundry, Credit Commission, and Sure Gamble, those are the main ones to make use of it. Of course, Deepdive also makes use of it. Overclock does as well, but like you want something that gives you just pure money. Eventually, you run out of money events, and you would like to spend influence on money events, but then you're sacrificing a lot of things. So in this case, we're using a lot of influence on Good Breakers, Clot, because otherwise we kind of lose to Fast Advance, it seems, and then Tapworm to try to gain more time to gain value from Anakim and stuff like that. So I don't really know if this deck works at all, but we're about to see how it feels. Usually the way I do it when I build decks is I try to build something that I think makes sense in my head, at least to start with, and then if let me pull up YouTube. So yeah, I try to build something that makes sense in my head, like this could win games. And you try to cut as many things that seem unnecessary as possible. And then you play a few games, and if it seems decent on JNet, then you might have something promising, then you refine it, then you test it against the best kind of opposition, maybe you even target test it in the specific matchups and stuff like that to see whether the promise that you saw is actually real, and then you get a more clear sense of, okay, what matchups does this actually work in? Is it like generally good, or is it just good in this particular thing? And that's when you start to think about, is it worth trying to improve the matchups that are bad? Should I add more tech cards for certain things? Or do I just accept that this deck has some inherent issues? Because a lot of the times when you try to add tech cards, it can ruin your other matchups. So you got to be mindful of that. And sometimes you just have to accept that you're not good against everything in Netrunner. The best kind of tech is when your deck is just that the concept of your deck is already good against what you're worried about. But you can build kind of a silver bullet style deck as well. Where there's a lot of tech cards. And again, we don't have anybody joining. Double K is the guy who built that. I think I met him in person. It's the guy who built the weird Asa brain fries deck, I think. That was a fun one. Let's find that one. If we can. Double K. Homemade spicy brain fries. Yes. Yeah, I've seen this guy. Okay. We got an opponent. Aghanim Fusion. Ugh. Rough. It already feels rough. We don't know what they're up to, but we know it's no good. So with our deck, this one, yeah. This looks fine. We have some economy. We have diesel for some draw. Could be worse. It's not perfect because ideally you want Anacam as soon as possible. You want cards like Beth, but then again you're only playing one copy, so you often will not just draw it right away. Okay, so playing diesel puts us as at 7, which means we can't get to 3. Then there's also the question if we check this remote or not. I feel like we might check it. Yeah, it was a spin doctor. That was one of those cases where probably you should just let them trash the spin doctor, because you're just getting one hedge fund back doesn't seem that valuable. And that also puts your spin doctor in archives for later. Okay, so now he's at 5 cards though. So we can draw. Oh, and we got a Tapworm. So Laundry, R&D, and Tapworm seems pretty good. Oboe. Oh, do we want this Oboe now? They are really tough to steal, so maybe. And we're not really losing anything that important. Yeah, fuck it. Let's do it. And we draw. Presumably that's an NGO front. If it is, we should make him pop it. But then it could be one of those shell game lists too. So we don't die to an Urtica Cipher if we run that. So let's try. It was Urtica Cipher. And now I don't dare to run this server 2 card, so I'm just gonna draw. Okay, so it's a kind of Ag build that I haven't really seen, because typically Ag doesn't play all the traps. Because the ID is just making use of ice, so it tends to be more of a Prison or Glacier build. Yeah, because it plays Urtica Cipher, it might play other cards that fit with that, like Reaper Function. So going to 1 card just to get the lat draw might be a bit risky. Although he would need to have 2 Reaper Functions to kill us. So we can play Nuka. We can draw Daily Cast. Yeah, so a problem with stealing the Oboe, like we lost a lot of economy cards, and now we're broke. It's still very unclear what kind of Ag Infusion this is. All right. Could draw again with Nuka. Yeah, this is a problem. Yeah, I think so. Anicam, take a credit, put down the voice pad. Do we just have to pitch something? And I guess that's gonna be and SMC. Actually, probably not the right call. Because landing deep dive against Ag is tricky, so probably we should just pitch one of the deep dives. Also, I think if we get a deep dive off, then that's gonna finish the game probably. Depends on the agenda suite. If it's all 3-pointers, we need to steal one more before going for the deep dive if we want to win with the deep dive. Okay. So I kind of, yeah, I want to make space in our hand before playing this diesel. And let's make this a sable so we can get the extra click. And we get a draw. Okay, we finally get an event. It could just be a normal looking Glacier build that also plays an Erdica cipher, like just one copy. That's sometimes the case. Yeah, let's start with checking archives. Check this part too. He just put that on the board? Damn, that's risky. I guess he thought I was being a scaredy cat. But yeah, now things like at 3 points this wasn't looking great, but this looks like one of those agenda suites where it's you have 6 3-pointers and then you play the longevity to finish out your suite. So we take money and we pass. Yeah, so a bit awkward here because we can't get down to 4 cards to get the Lat trigger. So send a message score maybe. Yeah. So it does look a lot like just regular ag list. Now we definitely have to diesel. There's no choice. And Falter. We can laundry just for the money to not have to discard. And we can put down the misdirection, and then that means we can use Simulchip later. Can get back one of the breakers that we need. But yeah, because we have stolen this serum, that probably should have just stayed in HQ. Deep diving and seeing one agenda is enough to win the game now. Okay. Yeah, I still don't have the breakers to go for the deep dive. There's only Arbocalter. So let's draw some more. Now there's a self-modifying code. So that's good. And I can go for like sure gamble, SMC. Then I could overclock a server just to pop this SMC. And then not have to discard. Oh, let's get Unity. So we've seen one barrier. I think the barriers are less common in these lists, so let's get the decoder out first. Also, because of the agenda suite, we're not worried about scores until there's a double events card in the remote. Okay, so now we're worried about a score. Okay, so question is, I guess, how much Shiashi are they playing? Because we could faceplant into a Shiashi if we just run a central right now. And we would take 4 net damage. We wouldn't die. And we would gain some information, at least. So maybe it's okay. Yeah, I kind of want to try to go for it rather than just... Because if Shiashi's rest, then an agenda can't be scored on the next turn. Although we might just lose all of our deep dives. So that kind of sucks. But I want to try. Anemone. Okay, that means no more Shiashi. So we can break this. And there, of course, could be snares in HQ. We access a Shiashi. So we can go for R&D. And that's another sentry. So we can break it. And that's, yeah, on this server, it only really works for face checking. It's only taxing us 1 credit right now. And we check archives. And we have 4 cards, so we are able to steal oboes. So now we just need to see one. We did. Very nice. It looks like it was a killing deck. I saw a killing in there. But that was kind of... I feel like we kind of got handed that victory because the longevity play on the board was a bit risky. I guess he was scared of me running HQ at some point, but yeah, I didn't know there was only an anemone there. Let's try one more game with that. Yeah. Let's get some water. Got an opponent. NEH. We're going to see some spam. And we're not on Parisha. Parisha, by the way, a great tech card against acid spam. At least it was back in the previous meta where I played it to great effect in the control ad. That was the card that basically shored up the acid matchups so that you had almost no weaknesses. And this is a great starting hand. We have the console, we have economy, draw. We're satisfied. We're good. So yeah, last game was not representative of how that matchup should go. I think that's actually our main worry, is like facing something like Ag where they get to rest their eyes. Well, we do have the eventual threat of getting Turbine out. Okay, so 4 cards. You can draw once, go to 6. Should I do that? Because we want to stay at 4 cards. If I play Anikam and create a commission, that's... Yeah, I can click for credit, but I could also just draw one and then play the laundry. I think that's probably better. Yeah. Let's go for that. And we're not laundering this server just in case it's a Spin Doctor. Maybe it's a Rashida then? It wasn't rest. Interesting. Yeah. Could be a number of things, like NEH often plays a Manisanai. This list looks very ice heavy to be an NEH list. Yeah, we start with the draw. Ooh, nice. So now we can laundry and Tapworm. Very good. Then we can put the cast down. Yeah, we have momentum. We have a good start. Some kind of clown car NEH where you put a billion cards in one and the same server. Could be similar to the Spark we just played that just stacks Arella and Sansan. But yeah, just Arella we're not that worried about. Okay, we can draw here. And we can install, play the commission, and get the Lat draw. So this is sort of like what I want the deck to be doing. This is more of an ideal situation. Oh, is it the Arella combo with the... Okay, is this a thing like everyone is doing right now? I haven't seen it prior to this. Yeah, scoring the license acquisition so you get the Sansan from your hand for free. So of course this means we don't get the Tapworm money. And this could be an NGO. But yeah, as it stands, there's basically no money. There's no face check that I'm super worried about, I think. I can't think of one that would totally wreck us right now. Like maybe no, not even something like Roto Turret, because we have Book Altar. So let's just run it. Pop-up window, okay. Yeah, it fires. And I guess we pay to check what this is. Rashida we can get rid of. And we can overclock this remote, get rid of Sansan. And I think we can leave the Arella. IP block. It's nice that they can res it. That was good with the pop-up, but at the same time it only taxes us 2 credits. So it's okay. So we trash this. Arella, do we trash Arella too? I don't think so. Then we need to install 2 cards so we get the Lat draw. Oh, Fenris can get us the extra click for the deep dive. And again, so this deck doesn't have the most ambitious final rig, but the idea is to have a rig that we can assemble reasonably quickly and have like a bunch of money cards. And we still have the turbine to have like a nice breaker suite, and not going for the most ambitious rig to have our deck be a little faster. Nuka. Sure. So I guess, yeah, Fenris. We want Fenris for the click, and we can get a commission. Turbine. So I don't think we may not need the full breaker suite to get the deep dive off. And I guess here I kind of want the harmony therapy, but it feels kind of far off actually needing it. So I guess I will pitch it. That's one more breaker. All right, so we got our mark. This server 3 feels like Spin Doctor. We can safely go for deep dive this turn, I think. Just left one agenda there. So it isn't Spin Doctor then? And yeah, don't know what it is then. It's not something like a it's not Arella either, because we stole an agenda. I guess it could be, because yeah. Whatever, let's go for the deep dive. Okay, so now an agenda cannot be scored either. So I'm not worried about that. We can just safely go for the deep dive. Stock buyback. Okay, now we're getting an idea of what kind of deck this is. Should be on news teams. And may just be going for something like the Kikai list with fast break, where you try to score a billion agendas in the same turn. Nice, we get a beat. And now we can play the deep dive in the way we want to. We don't see anything, but it is that kind of list. It is basically the Kikai list with fast break and Maverus and shipment from Vladislavsk, which is, so you can combo in a way where you score a billion agendas in one turn, but they have to steal a lot of agendas for it to work. So I could access a Spin Doctor and trash it, but I don't know if I want to do that. I don't think they matter that much. And of course, we don't want to trash the Mavericks, because then we lose our Tapworm. All right, so I guess we do nothing. We don't want to access an extra card. Yeah, so here it might just be click for credit so I can pitch the paperclip. Or run server 3, I guess. Yeah, we can check it. I guess he wants us to steal that, so he gets a bunch of money. But then we also get money from Tapworm, so it's kind of double-edged. All right. Right, so there's one deep dive left in the deck. And yeah, so installing Turbine here means we can break IP blocks for just 1 credit, which is pretty good. We could start with Nuka. We'll still have 2 clicks left, but then if this is a headline or something, we'll end our turn tagged, so let's check first. And we just want to break one of the subroutines. Done. So we can check this card. Nice. The Arella, do we care? Yeah, I don't know if I should care. No. We can always check the card he puts in there, so it's hard for him to score from hand, I think. Well, he can score like post-truth dividends, I guess. But I don't want to pay 5 just for this. Or do I? I guess it's cheap to get into the other stuff, so maybe we just pay 5 to force him to put another one on the table. Yeah, let's do that. And then put down Nuka, maybe? Draw 1 normally and then put down Nuka, something like that. Yeah, so we get the lat draw. Should toggle this to always. Yeah, so it can be hard to judge how good a list is, especially on JNet. Because right now it feels great, but it really depends on what you're facing. Like if this was up against a faster deck, do you have the time to find all your breakers? That's an interesting question. And also if it's up against a really slow deck, do you actually get grinded out in those cases? So now we're going to get so much money from the Tapworm. So I kind of want to check server 5. I don't really want to check archives because there's probably just a bunch of news teams in there. Server 5 could also be news team. I guess news team is okay. We can clear the tags with misdirection. Yeah, let's start by checking server 5. Oh, looks like it's another Spin Doctor. He shuffles back Fast Break and Arella for the combo. And another Spin Doctor gone. Yeah, so we won't get the lat draw because he's at 7 cards now. And I think overdrawing might be okay. We go to 9. We have to pitch 2, but we can pitch Anikam and maybe a Nuka. Yep. So put down the Simmel chip. In case we want to get the Tapworm back. Actually, yeah, Simmel chip can also get us Clot, which is important against this kind of deck if he doesn't have the Mavers. Of course, Fast Break is pretty likely to draw into Mavers, but so we sure gamble. Can pitch Anikam, Nuka. We've drawn so many cards that maybe we don't need more than another diesel. But it is kind of hard to justify playing a list like this over the Ma Chico list, where you have more inherent disruption. So now he's going for the fast break combo. The question is if he's gonna score out this turn or not. We might want to clot him. Right, so he can score that without me getting a window. So action after the install. Yes, we do have action. Because this could be a 2-1 agenda. Oh, he's right. Yeah, I don't have SMC. Yeah, so he gets to do this. I can't stop him. Yeah, I forgot about that. You always just assume your SMC is in the heap. Right, okay. So getting SMC into the heap. Actually, yeah, pitching SMC would have been a good idea to stop that kind of stuff. But now we need to draw our deep dive. So get rid of the Sun. And I guess take a credit so we can pitch the SMC. We can just draw with Nuka. Yeah, because we want to see the deep dive. There we go. 1, 2. I don't even know if we need this unity, so let's we can potentially get it back with SMC. And we don't need the tapworm. No, we drew the clod. Oh my god. This is yeah, I didn't think about this. This is a problem. But I guess he can't score out this turn. I guess he could if he has fast break. It looks like he's not going for it. Okay. Yeah. I fucked up, but I think I can win this next turn by we just jailbreak. We run archives, have him pop the Spin Doctor, take all the tags from the news teams. Or maybe the other way around, because then we can steal quantum predictive models. I'm not sure. But the problem is, yeah, we have to hit archives first for him to shuffle back some of the agendas, I think. So I'll try to do it that way. Run archives. Actually, no, wait. Gonna start with jailbreak HQ, because this doesn't affect the interaction. Do it on HQ. So we can break this for 1 credit. Becomes pretty cheap. Okay, yes, that was correct, and we win right away. So we didn't even have to deep dive, but yeah, good game. All right, good game. Yeah, to Kaggle's Cup, yeah, the jailbreak was correct. And then, yeah, I guess you run archives to have them shuffle back any agendas there. Then you jailbreak R&D. You might access a quantum, but you're unlikely to access 2 quantum predictive models. So yeah, that makes sense. I guess I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick, and then I'll be back with some more games with this. So see you soon. All right, let's jump into more games. So we might also want to tweak this deck, but let's open a lobby in the meantime. Oh, that's the wrong deck. So yeah, it seems like I don't know if we need 2 Nuka. It might be too many. So yeah, you end up with a clogged hand in a lot of cases where you have cards that you can't really play. So yeah, I'm wondering if maybe trying to make that better somehow. Possibly cutting one of the Nukas for something. You would like another money event or whatever. And I'm not sure you play this air therapy either. It's really nice later in the game. And one of your so you have 2 problems as the event deck. Like, so you want things that you can play early, but then also if you run out of things to play, you want a card like Harmony Air Therapy to shuffle them back so you can continue to play and get value from your events. But at the same time, you don't want it in your deck. You don't want to be drawing it earlier than that. So yeah, there's this issue where you end up drawing it and then you pitch it, because you don't need it early game and it just clogs your hand. And then you wish you had it later in the game if you're playing a very slow game, slow and grindy game. Yeah, so if we could get more, I don't know, like sustained economy. Seems like this, I guess this seems decent against decks that don't run a lot of ice. But you may want to, yeah, I'm not sure what to, oh. Looks like I have no sound. Yeah, my sound, I don't know, these headphones, they turn off. This deck seems fine too. So we're up against NEH again. So I guess we have to wonder, is that the same kind of NEH? Okay. If I draw one, then jailbreak, then I'm at 6 and I can play 2 more. Market forces Amani. Yeah, we want to get the daily cast down, but not this turn because we'll risk hard hitting news. So put the tapeworm down, play the creative commission, try to get a lat draw. This list already looked a bit more normal. Amani Senai, okay, so it's a Bladder word list. And that is the kind of list where we wish we had Parisha. Maybe that's one of the cards that you make room for. And a billion upgrades on the Bladder word as well. Yeah, so then the question is, do we try to interact with the nonsense or do we try to ignore it? You can always deal the damage via Nasex. And we can overclock this Bladder word remote. So there could be price sec. Yeah, another way to do it is to overclock the Nasex. But yeah, then you can probably rest something in server 3 and still deal the net damage. Yeah, so we can get hit with 2 tags if we run server 2 and it's double price sec. But we're able to clear both of those tags. So that's okay. Might be better to just ignore it, but... yeah, let's start with the price secs. It is a price sec. So, I guess we trash one of them. Another price sec, yeah. And that one we don't trash, and then we trash the Bladder ward. So we want to clear tags. Because he has market forces. So he'll go to 1 credit. He can click for 2. So we can't get hit by HHN unless this is a Rashida. In which case he goes to 4, 5, 6. That's bad. But we can't do much about it, so we'll just draw a card. Okay. So it wasn't Rashida. We're safe against that. And then we just try to money up. So if this is a ladder word, then that's how it's going to be. Well, actually, I could overclock the NASX too. But I think, yeah, getting the daily cast down now is good. We can overclock the NASX later. And also overclocking, of course, exposes us to hard-hitting news. So before we have misdirection, we have to be a little mindful of that. We can't just run willy-nilly. Exposes us to hard-hitting news. So before we have misdirection, we have to be a little mindful of it. Okay, so playing Nuka, clicking Nuka puts us at 6 cards. Yeah. I'm not going to contest anything right now. It's still too risky. Slightly awkward. Love to play the sure gamble, but there's only way to do that is dirty laundry and then sure gamble, and then we're not at 5, so we don't get the lat draw. So it could be just click for credits and maybe pitch the Simmel chip. I think so. Of course, he can always rest a spin doctor to stop the lat draw. Also, people watching, if you have any opinions about whether or not there should be background music, let me know. Because I've been having background music before, but I only had 1 track, so got a bit repetitive. But it still might be nice to have something, because obviously I'm not talking constantly during a game. Sometimes it's nice to just have something chill in the background. Okay, so we can go up to, with Nuka we can get to 9 cards. Yeah, seems fair. So with Anikam, that means we'll have to pitch 2 cards. We only have 1 we want to pitch right now, Paperclip. So maybe this is not the turn to play Anikam. Sure, gamble. Laundry HQ. Market forces. Maybe just overclock a NASX. Make him work a bit more for the money, perhaps. Yeah, I'm actually not sure. I'll go for it. And we pitch a clip. Got a clip. And we... we still need 2 more breakers. All right, so 1 person, not a music fan. I personally, if I'm just jamming, I love to have music just for me. But of course, if I'm streaming, it's different. And I can't just put on any playlist. All right. Music not needed. I got you. I got you. So now it's Anacam time. I feel like maybe I should. I'm wondering if I should contest this server. Sorry, let me undo this click. Maybe I should contest this server. Yeah, because what eyes are you actually playing in a NEH that I should be worried about? Could be something that gives me a tag, and that's about it. I think I checked this. They could be just on some weird list with ambushes too, of course, but it's a EULA. Okay. Well, if it's a EULA, then this probably can't be scored right now. But yeah, if we think it's an agenda, I guess we might as well go get it. So we'll be at 9. Yeah, sure. I don't know if it's the best. The Bellona. Yeah, we take it. And then we can credit Anacam Laundry Archive, something like that. We get the draw. Yeah, that seems good. I figure eventually we're gonna have to go get the Bellona anyway, so we might as well save the click. And this does not put us in range of hard-hitting news, so that's okay. And this could be more bladder warts. Okay, so Diesel puts us as we'll be at 9 cards, I guess. Could actually be a nice idea to just trash the pad campaign and keep him poor. Diesel puts me at 9. Yeah, that's a lot of cards. I'm not in a hurry to draw a huge amount of cards until he's threatening big plays. It's just not happening right now. So let's get rid of the campaign. Let's see what we draw from the Anakin. So I could draw Gamble Creative Commission. Oh, there's also Beth Creative Commission now. That seems fine. Oh, then I shouldn't draw if he rests the spin. There's no miss bones in this deck. I think if you want hate against assets, you would put a Parisha in this. It's worked really well in previous Lat lists, and I think it also makes sense because you're playing Simulchip and Tapworm. Then in the matchups where you don't need the Parisha, you can get rid of the Parisha with Simulchip and get a Tapworm back, or you can get a Clot back. So then it's a card that has multiple purposes, and I think that's really good. So I could definitely see a Parisha being added to this. Yeah, and then you don't have to spend the money on Miss Bones. I think it's a sufficient tech card It might not be anymore now that you don't have Riseki, but that's still what my first instinct would be, is to try that instead. Okay. All right, diesel only puts us at 8. That's fine. Yeah, I think it's time to dig. So we dig. You can put down the breaker. Yeah, I don't know what breakers I would need here, but you tend to have gear check in this kind of NEH. Like Enigma. So I think installing the Unity is not a waste. So I'll do that. And only really missing the book altar now. And we have enough money to well, yeah, we have the money to threaten big deep dives. We need to get the fenders down to become a sable for the extra click as well. Okay. So I think, yeah, if I make another version, I might cut the Harmony AR therapy and put a Parisha in. Oh, that's that's a good question. If Tapeworm or Fermenter is better. I feel like it depends on the other cards in your deck. Like Tapeworm makes Drip better. Fermenter is better if you're mainly relying on Fermenter, I feel like, to get your money. I'm not sure. It's a tough call. Like Tapeworm can be way better, but I think if I made a shaper that's like doesn't play Anikam, uses economy, run economy less, then I'd probably play Fermenter in it. Because what the Tapeworm is doing in this deck is it buys you more time to trigger your Anikam and your prepaid voice pad and get triggers from Beth and stuff. Whereas Fermenter could be like your main economic backbone on its own. I don't know if that's a great answer, but yeah, that's sort of my initial thoughts. So we need to draw. Huh. Yeah, this AR therapy is not doing anything. I mean, I could play it and just shuffle back some economy events. At least then, yeah, let's do that. I think, yeah, you have to play it preemptively to some degree. So Sure Gamble, what else? Laundry is good, Creative Commission is good, Daily Cast. And maybe playing it preemptively is not as bad if you have more cards like, I guess, get the Tapeworm back. Yeah, let's try that. And we get Sable. Take a credit. Try to get the draw. Got Misdirection. Yeah, and okay, now there's Bladder Wart. And we lost one of the deep dives. Only have one left. Restoring for another Bladder Wart. Yeah, this is how he makes us regret not having Parisha. But so the way it looks right now, these would not be dealing damage next turn. Yeah, we have a problem here where when we just want to be drawing more economy cards, but instead we we have to fill our card out with other stuff like jailbreaks. We could probably get some accesses, potentially deep dive for the game here, depending on the agenda suite. But I have to keep in mind, if I go for deep dive now, he can rest eyes and the Bladder words will be active again. But then again, we risk losing the deep dive if we don't go for it now. So I'm gonna try. And if he put agendas here, this forces the Spin Doctor pop. So if you build a deck where your main economy option is Fermenter, you probably also play 3 Simul chips, so you can get them back that way. Still, of course, your opponent has the option to purge, so you can't rely only on those. Jailbreak R&D. Yeah, so he can trace us here. We want to get in. This could be a problem. I guess I'm going for it too early, because now I can't steal a Bologna anymore. There's a Bologna, speaking of it. Okay, let's take it. And let's just go for it. So it's a turnpike. So we're going to take a tag. Hard-hitting news. So I can click for credit and play the deep dive. Yeah, I mean, it's now or never, right? Degree mill, there we go. Good game. Oh. All right, so let's try to fix the problems with the deck. Not saying we can, but if we want to... So the problems I'm noticing is we run out of economy events. We have some cards that become dead because of this. So the AR therapy, maybe it's not a terrible idea. Maybe if I play more voice pads, it's not terrible. You just play it as a way to get commissions, laundries, and your gambles back, which are the main cards that you want to be playing. So let's try to make like a bit of a greedier version. So if we go to the decks, we just duplicate this to make a new version. Because I was saying the Harmony is not the card you want, but maybe it is the card you want. You just play it earlier. Let's see. And we also felt like we wanted Parisha. Well, there are some conflicting things here. Like, yeah, is double Nuka good? I don't know. The games haven't gone terribly, so changes may also result in worse results. Okay, so we could add more AR therapies. And then I figure more voice pads is also good. And that's just leaning more into our need for these events. The jailbreaks have felt okay. But if we want to lean more into that, we could cut some of them. And also the question is, do we need 2 Nuka? Or is that like unnecessary? So I don't know if this is good, but let's try 1 jailbreak, 2 Harmony, and 2 voice pads. And I don't know. Do we want to be at 2 Nuka? Let's be at 2 Nuka, and then so we'll try to use these therapies to like preemptively shuffle stuff back. And we'll play a game. We'll see if we like the changes or not. So you're going to be proactive with your AR therapies to make sure that you have value events in your deck and you don't run out. And we're going to keep the Nuka because if we keep shuffling stuff back, we might actually need the draw. Okay, so let's do Greedy Event Lat is what we're going to call it. This is live deck building, folks. But yeah, so obviously this might turn out to be trash. Like it might be that this just clogs our deck too much. But let's give it a spin, see if it seems okay. Oh, you want the Parisha? Okay, okay. I will oblige. We get one Parisha in there. We need. So, I kind of like the jailbreaks, but maybe you don't. Like, let's try it without the jailbreaks and see how it feels. But I kind of like them because it's good to have one card that can sort of hit HQ when the agendas build up in there, and it's very very non-committal. It synergizes with Tapworm. So I liked all of those things about it. So now, yeah, now there's a bunch of stuff in here. And I don't know if I like it. Yeah, so, yeah, I'm not sure this is a good idea. But we're going to do it this way anyway. And test the theory. Just we try to be proactive with this AR therapies, shuffle our value events back, and see if that makes any sense. But I did like how the jailbreaks, they give us a nice early play. We can get good accesses early on. It's very non-committal. We're just spending a click, we get the card back, and then we can get the Tapworm. Kagglescap wants to cut one Nuka. I mean, I like the Nuka, but okay. We'll keep one jailbreak for that one nice run on HQ. We're gonna please the viewers today, okay? So we'll do it this way, and we'll see how we like it. And now, if anyone wants to make changes, I'm sorry, but now it's decided. We're going to play this version. And in techie.net format. Yeah, so, I mean, we still haven't played a deck that just tries to score out really fast, like Sportz or whatever. And that's the sort of deck where you probably would be punished for playing these extra AR therapies and voice pads. So you could just play the deck we are playing now, but you just cut the extra AR therapy and the voice pad for the extra jailbreaks, and that would help you against faster decks, I think. And now my sound should be on, so I should hear. Yeah, I should hear if he joins. So we can try to theory craft a little bit on one of those famous buzzsaw decks or buzzsaw cleaver decks. Just try to abuse the hell out of cleaver and buzzsaw. I don't know if we'll actually play this today. Let's think about it, because it usually takes some time for people to join. So 2 turn binds. So basically, oh, there we go. We got an opponent. So never mind. But that's something we can theory craft more later on. And we have the outfit. Okay. And this hand, we like having the Anakim early, but the rest is trash. So let's, yeah. And I'm already annoyed at having this AR therapy in my hand. Look, it seems like we should cut this AR therapy, guys. Yeah, well, you know, Kagglescap, like, you know, we need to make the audience feel involved. So we draw 1 card. Yeah, so we can get hit by hard-hitting news, but we have SMC for misdirection. And we want to draw our card, so let's just run archives here. So we're not gonna pop the SMC for a tapeworm. That's not recommended. Actually, we could get hit by Econ, HHN. Actually, that's fine. We can laundry, click for credit, get the misdirection and clear. So it would hurt, but at least we wouldn't die. And if it's just HHN, we're still fine. Okay. So just install some stuff. Probably, usually this kind of thing is a Rashida, but could also just be a 3-2 you want to score out early. It's very common kind of outfit play. So cast Anicam, I think, and then just click for credit so we don't have to discard. So we already played an event, so we can't get the Anicam trigger this turn. We drew the misdirection, which is nice. And I mean, who knows? Like the jailbreak may be better than the Nuka. We're testing. I like having jailbreak. It was kind of, despite the list feeling like it's clunky at times. Yeah, despite the list feeling clunky at times, it's hard to cut things. So that's usually, that means you want to play a lot of games and then you sort of see what ends up being a waste of your time. Okay. I think laundry here is good. Or just Deuces puts us at +2 cards. We'll be at 8. Sure. Let's do it. Okay, we can overclock. Get the paperclip. That seems fine. But we can laundry first. Overclock. Get the paperclip. And we just install this direction. Yeah, problem here, we didn't get the prepaid voice pads. Now we're drawing the therapy before we're drawing most of our money cards. Like problem with AR therapy is doesn't really become good until we've drawn like most of our events. Like we want to be able to shuffle back a creative commission, a laundry, a sure gamble, daily cast, and maybe a tapeworm, something like that. Yeah, again, feels a bit too early to play this. We would be shuffling back cards that we don't really want to draw. Maybe we're actually playing too many SMCs. You could maybe get away with playing 2. That's another thing we could look into for this list. We have an extra click now, so that's cool. Yeah, again, just drawing things that we don't want to be using right now is a problem. And we want to get the draw from Lat. So we want to play 2 things. So we install the breakers, we take money, get the Lat draw. Okay, there's a money event, but it's a bit late. All right, and that card looks very, very much like an SDS drone deployment. Not that I can stop it. But we do have Simmel chip in the deck, so drawing one of those would be nice. Draw. We got Nuka. So playing and using her, we would be at 8. We would have to pitch a card. That's sort of fine. Actually, I guess we have to pitch more than a card. Because we still haven't played an event, so playing an event means, yeah. Yeah, that's true. Could be an Atlas as well. I'm sort of shell-shocked from from playing against the kind of rig shoot outfit. Yeah, the thing is, if we had the money a bit earlier, we could contest here. But if we laundry here, I'm just at 7. I think that's worth considering, but there's a few configurations of ice where that play would just kill us, I think. So yeah, I'm too scared to go for it. So I'm gonna let him do whatever this is. Like, I don't know, if we hit a bulwark or something, we pay most of our money, and then whatever is behind that card would, yeah, be something we probably can't break. Like, we don't have the money to break it. Okay, so I think now... So Bulwark is like 7 to break. It was Atlas, but only with 1 over advancement, and we want to stop any other 3/2s. We also want to force these reses. So I think gamble running is best. We run. Also forcing the reses, of course, creates the bad pub use later on. Yeah, so it is Bulwark. And we break it. We continue. Lets us in. Interesting. So he's considering... Okay, so I guess it's a Spin Doctor. Does he want to... So he doesn't want to pop it. And I don't know that I want to trash it either. Actually, well... He could go for an Audacity score. His entire hand gets trashed, but then he can shuffle back the agendas that were trashed. So I guess we trash a spin. And then afterwards, so we have options. We can put down the DJ to make us gain an extra click if we go for deep dive next turn, but we don't really have the money to do that right now. So I feel like we have to play the voice pad and the commission. Which is a tricky spot to be in. Because we absolutely don't have infinite time. Okay. But looks like he's taking some time off to just money up. Which is, yeah, the thing we're most scared of is him just fast advancing out agendas. And it looks like he's not doing that, so I'm okay with it. Get a card from Beth. So we could play 2 daily casts, we go to 4 cards, we draw 1 card, we create a commission, we get the lat draw. Then we still don't have a Steve on the board. But there's a jailbreak. Could also install this. But yeah, I figure we need the money to... We probably want to go for two deep dives as well. So let's go for the daily casts. Get the lat draw. There we also have Oh, turbine is nice too. Makes, yeah, getting into remotes a lot more sustainable, potentially. There's a lot of big eyes in the outfit. So between this and the bad pub, might actually be pretty affordable to contest things. Like things are, I feel like things are going better than they should. If that makes sense. So he's at 4 cards. It's hard for us to make use of everything. We're kind of running out of memory here in the rig because I would like to install the tapeworm, but I can't really do that. So I think just gonna, yeah, because I want to install the turbine and the tapeworm, and I don't want to trash misdirection because, I mean, if you play Econ Warfare, you're probably on hard-hitting news. Yeah, let's just put Sable on the board, I guess. And this, we just take money. Yeah, this is a problem because now we can't trigger Lat, but it is what it is. We might get our first loss of the day. So we have a question: why have no Cyberdelias or DZMC? So yeah, there's a good reason for this, I think. So first, so basically, I'm trying to create a rig in the deck where, I'm just gonna type thinking, even though I'm actually just talking. Yeah, we're trying to create a rig that can be assembled quickly, and the more stuff you add to that, the more time it takes to assemble your full rig. So even though in a final rig, having more memory allows you to do more things. It just means that you have more pieces to put on the board. And my overall theory here is that that kind of deck will be too slow against the faster corps like Sportz Metal. I don't think you have the time to assemble that kind of rig, so I'm trying to avoid that. Cyberdelia seemed good when you can get it out with World Tree, but other than that, it seems a bit slow. So that is sort of the logic. Okay, so he scored out a hostile, and yeah, and, with this rig, we have 3 breakers and the turbine, and we're basically saying that should be enough to break things. We're not going for Stargates for multi-access. Instead, we're playing Deepdive, and then we have 1 memory left over to have a misdirection or a tapeworm on the board, something like that. You can have different configurations, of course. If the turbine is not installed in this case, you could have the tapeworm too. But yeah, that's the logic. Diesel now. I guess your gamble. Oh, he used his Atlas counter to get hostile takeover. That seems wrong. Now we have Clot in hand. Yeah, I'm wondering if I just jailbreak HQ. I think so. And there's 2 bad pop. We have a turbine. 1 ice can't be that taxing, right? No, he's not even resting it. We get a global food. We hit a snare. Oh, we lose both our deep dives. Okay. So now it's on. Now it's on. But hey, we added another AR therapy, so we have a way to get it back. So I guess we can remove the tag. With the snare, I'm not sure if this kind of deck even plays HHN, but I'm still gonna assume that. Yeah, so we remove a tag. We can install the simul chip to get a lat draw. Yeah, exactly. There is harmony in the deck, so we can get deep dives back. We can actually get both of them back, because one harmony can shuffle back the other harmony, and then that harmony can shuffle back the last deep dive. So this is fine. We're doing just great. Econ Warfare. Again, Econ Warfare, but not with a follow-up. Right, so if we play Diesel here, we have pretty good chances of seeing the AR therapy. So we have 1 turbine, means we can break a bulwark for 5 credits. And there's 2 bad pop. We have a simul chip for Claude. Yeah, so this server 1 feels like a 3-2. We did not get what we wanted. But yeah, I still want to force some reses here on server 1. So this is broken for 5. Most things are cheaper. I think we still start with sheer gamble. Overclocking this remote. Because, yeah, if I was in this position, it seems like reasonable that you want to hide the agendas away in the remote. Another bulwark. Yeah, so that adds a bad pub, and we're basically just paying 3 extra to break it. Spin Doctor pop. Yeah, now there's 3 bad pubs, so we're really getting to a place where, yeah, we don't necessarily even have to. Well, the snare was shuffled back. I don't know how many snares there are. There could be triple snare. So of course you want to be careful about that before going for a deep dive. But also checking HQR doesn't seem terrible. So one play is just you use Nuka, you get the draw, you shuffle back some stuff. But I feel like we could wait a turn. So let's hit HQ. HHN. So it is actually in the deck. Oh, there's 2 clicks left. Okay, I will start taking notes. There's HHN. We got HHN. Okay. Oh, sorry. Of course, we got the click back from Sable. I'm stupid. Yeah, let's draw a bunch. There's the Parisha. So we can Harmony, get back Harmony, Deep Dive, a bunch of value stuff. That seems good. Get back. So we get back a Harmony, we get back a Deep Dive. We want Sure Gamble. Creative Commission, I think. And Overclock. Maybe Jailbreak would have been good. But yeah, I'm going for the money stuff. We can pitch the Anacam and an SMC. We still get the lat draw. So yeah, now we have a deep dive in the deck. We were actually kind of unlucky not having the second prepaid. So we can play we can play a deep dive for free once per turn. We can play a Harmony for free once per turn. Yeah, would not be too surprising if server 1 is a snare now. But we don't have our important cards in our hand at the moment. We can even overclock server 1. So we can afford to check here. Spin Doctor makes sense. And I think, yeah, we overclock the remote once again. Okay. He wants us to spend a lot of cash on this. So let's see. We have 6 free money left. So we have to pay 4 real credits to check this. I think that's okay. Because as long as he's not scoring a 3-2 for free, we're sort of okay here. We have the long-term plan of Deepdive. All right, so now we have the Deepdive. Got it from the Anacam. And yeah, so overclock here. Then we go down to 7. We can play a sure gamble. We can actually, I guess we can start with the HQ run. Because we get it for free with Sable. So let's do that. Yeah, so question about with 2 Econ Warfare play, could you ditch the misdirection for Tapworm? Maybe, but you got to be mindful that if you run servers and you go low at any point, then HHN becomes a threat once again. So it's something that might always become relevant again, and that's why I've been keeping it around so far. Now, if the money differential between us is large enough so that he can never really hit me with hard-hitting news, then I guess it still doesn't make sense to put Tapworm on the board because it wouldn't give me a lot in that case. So I think at this point, yeah, don't need Tapworm. I guess you might consider it if we are both at a really high amount of money so that he wouldn't want to HHN anyway. I think that's when you should consider it. So we go here and hit the snare. Break it. And yeah, so we know he's on end of the line. That makes sense. Oh, it was a regulatory capture. Okay. And so these are 3-2s at the moment. He still wants to get one more bad pub to be able to really make use of those. And now we can play a sure gamble. Yeah, so next turn should be a deep dive turn, I think. Because we would have 2 clicks left over. Potentially we win the game. Oh, Econ Warfare. And too big to fail. Okay, now there's actually HHN. Yeah, we should be fine with that, I guess. For bad pop means the regulatory captures can be scored. But also what I'm thinking, I'm wondering here if I still hit R&D 1 time before clearing these tags, because I can basically get the access for free. And I don't know that he wants to be resing ice right now, given the fact that there's all this bad pub. I think I do that. Like, what ice would you res here where where he doesn't just lose money by resing it? Like Trebuchet would be 5, so we actually, I think that's +1 credit for us because of the bad pub. Yeah, so I think we check R&D to get a free access. So then if we hit a snare or whatever, we can use misdirection to clear the extra tag that we get. And also this, if there's like a regulatory capture on top, then we will stop him from scoring it. Trebuchet. So we can break this and actually gain money, and we can wait. Do we continue to approach here? So if there's like a border control, that's 2 to break. I think we just jack out. Yeah, so we can clear the tags. 4, creative commission, get the other air therapy, and we can ditch a tapeworm, I guess. Yeah, seems pretty good. There's lots of bad pub. We can go for deep dive. I guess a question is if you try to avoid the threat of snare by starting with the AR therapy, because then you can shuffle back this deep dive before there's a chance that you lose the AR therapy. I guess the last card in the deck is the other voice pad. So you could draw for it, play the therapy. Draw for it, play the voice pad, play the therapy. Is that good? I think so. We get deep dive back, sure gamble back, overclock back, laundry back, and creative commission. All right, we don't draw actually, because Harmony removes itself from the game instead of being trashed, so it doesn't trigger Anacam. Wasn't thinking about that. We can get an HQ access though. If this is a snare, it's okay. Government subsidy. And we get the click back. And we draw. Oh, actually, yeah, the question about the voice pad, I don't know if it's worth it. May not be, because I don't know if this game will last long enough for the voice pad to pay off. So you may be totally right there. Probably not worth it given the clicks I had to spend. It will be worth it if his turn is slow, I think, which turns out it is. He's not doing much. Just installing another ice on HQ. So I think now we can go for HQ. I guess we start by making a normal run. I think so, because if there's snare, then there's less chance that we lose both our deep dives. Okay, we hit the subsidy. I want to laundry archives. We could still hit a snare off the top, but I feel like that's much less likely. Okay, there's a border control here, so I guess we don't get the laundry money if he pops this, which he does. So running R&D now is we gain 2 from the trebuchet, so I still think it's fine. And I think it's still worth it to play the deep dive, even if we can just steal 1 agenda, because then the next deep dive should be game. 1 credit to trash a boom. Seems fine, I guess. Run archives again. And I think deep dive is appropriate now. We're threatening another deep dive next turn. There's above the law, and there's no other agendas. Okay, so we get above the law at 6 points. And yeah, we're threatening to win the game. We don't even really need the extra click when we go for the deep dive, so we could even play sure gamble before making our plays. So regulatory capture. Yeah, so we can start by hitting HQ, I think. Mausolus. Yeah, not sure why he's resting, because I can break this for free. Subsidy. Is there a point in playing? No. Just run here. Overclock seems totally unnecessary. So the scary thing is, well, actually no, it's not scary. I was gonna say regulatory capture, fast advance is scary, but we have access to Clot, so we actually don't need to be worried about that either. Oh, we hit a snare, but the snare did not hit the deep dive. So I can run archives, play the deep dive. Yep. The deep dive will be free. And we get it to hostile takeover. Nice! We did it. That was cool. And this game, like, the changes sort of paid off. I don't know. The extra recursion sort of helped. But yeah, against a more rushy outfit may have been a big problem. I feel like I wanna try the deck a little bit more. Yeah, let's try it with those changes a little bit more. Well, actually, maybe 3 SMC, like I said, is too many. So maybe, where did I put my list? I was building the buzzsaw list. Yeah, is 3 SMC too many? That's a question. Because we could make one of them into a jailbreak, perhaps. Let's try that. We do slight tweaks. I don't know if this is correct. Let's try it. And let's make the change over here. The greedy one. Well, yeah, if this ends up feeling too clunky, then you cut 1 or 2 of the AR therapies, same with the voice pads. If you get a lot of time to use them, it's sort of nice. Okay, I'm gonna take like a 2-minute break, and I'll be right back. And we're gonna play more of this lat. And I am back. We're doing more greedy event lat. Let me see that my sound is actually on. There we go. Right, so we start the game. Now we're up against Sportz. So this may be perfect because it might showcase why we should not be adding all those cards that we did. Because we may need to be a lot faster. And Xiat in chat says we drew 55 cards. Wait, how is that possible? We're at 45 cards in our starting deck. And Harmony can only give us 5 more cards each. But I didn't draw my entire deck, did I? Maybe I did. Okay. So we got an ice and a card installed. Sometimes you want to face check this first ice. Because at this point a drafter is not terrible. I guess maybe it could be. Something could be installed from HQ, red level. Could be added back into your hand. Don't really like that. If we force a gatekeeper rest, that's nice. Siad says I did and I could draw even more. Huh, but how? Because like 45 plus 10, that's just 55 max, right? Unless I'm just forgetting about something. All right. Yep, got doing the lat math. Oh yeah. If I had more cards, then yes, yeah. I could draw even more. We draw. Yeah, I'm not gonna check that server right now. Oh, nice. We hit the right thing. So now he's at 4. So this is why you don't make the run last click, because the amount of cards in HQ can change. Also, using the ID, he could draw up. So now I think we just take a credit to get our card. And it was just a Rashida. Probably we got really lucky with that access. And I gotta stay hydrated, so let me get water. Yeah, that's another one of those issues. Like with that engine, you would want a really big deck, but at the start of the game, you don't want a really big deck. When you run out of cards, you wish that you had more left over, but that doesn't mean you should add more. It's one of the classic Netrunner problems. But AR is like, I don't know. It was different when you were playing cards like Levy AR Lab Access, because then you would just you wouldn't play it until you were basically out of cards. But AR Therapy you can play like as soon as you have good targets in your heap, just to add some more cards back to your deck. And it's a bit different from Labor Rights because it doesn't mill you either. Yeah, so this I still feel like I can't contest, so let's get more cards. Can't get the Anacam trigger this turn, that's a bit sad. But I can play two daily cast, set up for it next turn. Or just, yeah, I could play the sure gamble. Because I want the lat draw as well. So if I play the sure gamble, I will not get the lat draw. We just play these two, take credit, get lat draw. Yeah, this game has me very interested because I really want to see how this deck performs against Sportz. This is one of the things that you always need to consider in a new meta. Like, people are always going to be playing Sportz in one fashion or another. Now, this looks like a core damage build. It would also be interesting to see how they kind of, I guess, reg Sportz would work. Yeah, so now it's time for Anacam. Draw. We play Sure Gamble and Beth, and then we can pitch the clip. Assuming, I don't know if, so I'm not too familiar with these lists, and I don't know if they play Arc Lockdown. I'm a little bit scared of it, but I guess if that's the case, I'll just have to learn the hard way. Because core damage, I mean, it can get stuff into the heap, but you're not dealing a big volume of damage. You're more like just using the fact that their hand size is lower, and you're using effects like ontological dependence to make use of it. And yeah, what kind of shenanigans do you install there? I mean, I guess Jupe Stud Grid is the thing. And we could sort of hope. We could play like SMC, gamble, overclock the remote, and then hope that the breaker we install plus the paperclip will be enough. Could be a big if. Okay, let's try it. Meridian. Right, so we can get through that with a clip. It's all good. It's just another Meridian. Okay. Another ontological. This is sort of the dream, right? Now I don't know whether to get rid of this. Might be a good idea because they have to reinstall it then, and I don't want to be checking naked cards in this remote forever. Yeah, let's get rid of it. Because we're far ahead. I'll just take a credit. And we get the lat draw. Yep. Another voice pad. Can't believe these are paying off. They actually feel great now. Jupe Stud Grid again. Yeah, it wants me to run there. But let's start getting some value here. If we play a voice pad, then we deuces, that's plus 2 cards, we'll end up at 6. We can play 2 more. Next turn, maybe we can deep dive. Gain 3. Oh, whoops, I guess I miscalculated. It's too many cards. Yeah, we put down the turbine is nice too. Makes the meridians cost 1 credit to break. That's pretty crazy. But we can always get that back. If we lose this to core damage, we can't get it back. So I'm gonna put disable down. Okay, it looks like whatever was in there. So we also have the problem, the turn we go for deep dive, we kind of have to go through the nightmare archives. Do we have action? Maybe we do have action. If we steal another agenda, that puts us in a really good position. And hitting the nightmare archives is annoying. Yeah, let's clot him. Because with turbine, we pay 1 credit for each of the meridians. It's pretty good value. I don't know. Do you pay? Do you play Cerebral Overwriter in this? I don't think so. Yeah, so do we have the money to get in? Because of course we could Dirty Laundry HQ. Maybe install the turbine first in case we have to take core damage. Well, we don't have to take core damage, but let's do that. Mega proof. Get the money. This could be a code gate. What if it is a code gate? So if it is Fairchild, he goes so low on money that I'm okay with it. We can drop the clot and we can trash the clot and maybe a voice pad. If it's a gatekeeper, I guess that's sad, but it's not the worst. Yeah, because then he can't both res a jupe stat and score an agenda. So that's also fine, I think. So we just go for it, I think. Oh, it is Fairchild. Okay. Yep, that's fine. I mean, we can also pay. Beth isn't doing a whole lot right now either. Yeah, he can decide to do a core. I forgot about that. But then we do get the agenda. I assume it's an agenda. If it's cerebral, we still don't take core from accessing it. He's thinking hard about it. Decides to end the run. Okay. Yeah, so this agenda, it could be the Elivagar. Of course. Could also install Nuka and Tapeworm here to get the Lat draw. And we might want to have Nuka installed for later anyway. But actually, no, if we're gonna steal Nightmare Archives... No, let's just check R&D. We want to make sure that we win when we finally go for the deep dive. I assume. Hyperloop. Yeah, so now... Yeah, but there is a problem with... Yeah, if we take core damage when we go for the deep dive, because of Nightmare Archives, that he probably put in archives, then we may lose our deep dive. And if we... If we take it as a minus point, we may not win with the deep dive. Although still, like, there should be a lot of 2-pointers in here. How did... Oh, he got extra money from the from Hyperloop Seal, of course. Okay. Yeah, so we just need one more point. So yeah, you can go get the Nightmare Archives and then just deep dive and hope you see enough points that way. Not sure that's correct. War Aid Tracker, hit HQ. Yeah, because I could just accept the minus points and then deep dive, potentially winning the game. So I'm not sure about the agenda suite, but I was sort of assuming that you play Vitruvius and stuff like this. But maybe you don't. 3 ontological at 6 points, 3 bifurcation, 3 mega pre, 3 hyperloop. How many points is that? 15? Then luminol, you get to 17. Maybe you play 1 GFI. So 3 2-pointers left. And a lot of 1-pointers left. You got a question if security testing is worth playing to avoid stuff like this. I'm just gonna say maybe. It's a lot of influence, 3 influence, and there's a lot of cards you want to be playing. So I don't know if it's worth it. But maybe. Yeah, do we take those minus points? I feel like it, because I mean, we're gaining stuff in the process as well. Fuck it. Fuck it. We're doing it. And we'll live to regret it. Ooh, okay. So we don't win. Yeah, the thing is, I don't play Pinhole in this deck. Maybe you should play 1. Here we want to get the ones that are, yes, Ligvagar. We want to access another one of them. Mega Pre. So we're still at 6 points now. We didn't hit the 2 pointers that I wanted to see. There's one deep dive left in the deck. But yeah, this maybe a bit premature, because fast break will be crazy now, I guess. It's +2 credits. You draw a lot of cards. We don't have Clot to stop the scores. Yeah, there, fast break. There it is. But 2 Elivagar is gone. There's only 1 Elivagar, and that's the only one that's easy to score from hand right now. Of course, you can play Biotics and stuff, but at least you have to pay money for that. And one way to do this, of course, is to we just run a lot of times. We get extra clicks from Sable. So essentially we have like 5 single access runs each turn. If any agendas hide in HQ, I think we should be able to find one of them, whether or not one is scored right now. And especially because so many cards are drawn, then you have to pitch a bunch of them. Maybe you even have to install a Spin Doctor just to... Yeah, you can install a Spin Doctor to shuffle back some of them, but I still feel like we should be able to hit agendas on our next turn. Biotic. So, yeah, Ontological can be scored, Luminal can be scored. It's Luminal. So at least he can't score more agendas this turn. And we get a draw because our overclock is trashed, so Jailbreak is nice. Yeah, so I've been very against Pinhole, but like having a 1 may not be too bad. And that could help against decks like this. Then you could use it as tech for those particular situations. You know they put a bunch of bullshit in archives. You just Pinhole archives. Yeah, you Pinhole archives, you avoid getting the Nightmare archives, and that against these decks, that could be all you need. If you just dodge those Nightmare archives that one time, you get the Deep Dive, should be enough. Yeah, another thing that I should have considered here that I didn't is that I still don't have a way to break code gates. so that's a problem. Yeah, so I did go a little bit too all in on this, on the plan. So question is, yeah, do we still check R&D? Yeah, I'm not sure about the Ice Suite. Like if it's 3 Fairchilds, we don't really want to be paying 3 clicks. We get 1 back from Sable. Gatekeeper is also bad. Yeah, I have put myself in a unnecessarily bad situation, I think. But let's check R&D. This we can break for free. But it's just another drafter. Jailbreak HQ. I mean, if Fairchild is the ice of choice, then I'm not worried about Gatekeeper. Try that. Yeah, so we click through this. and we'll see 2 cards, which might be enough to win. Yep. Good game. Yeah, because there just has to be a lot of agendas in HQ at that point. Nice. Yeah, that was a good game. Feel happy about that. That has got to be the last game of the stream, unfortunately. But thank you all for joining me. It was kind of fun iterating on this deck. We can keep iterating. What was it looking like? This was the final version, I guess. And pinhole is a suggestion. You can maybe cut the deuces for a pinhole. Make you a little bit better against this kind of stuff. Deck was doing well on the day. I feel like it was feeling better than the deck actually is, but I don't know. You could test it more. So this was some lat experimentation. All we really had time to do today was experiment a bit with Deepdive Lat, different versions. I think if you want to play a Deepdive Lat, this is something like what you want to be playing. Yeah, nice to see you for the first time. Yeah, nice to have you here. So the list. Yeah, it seems like a fine list if deep dive is what you want to go for. Pretty lean list. You get to your full rig pretty quickly. You have a lot of economy. You get some longevity with the voice pads and the AR therapies. And the question is like, how many do you want to play of each? Jailbreaks helping a bit with multi-access was nice. Yeah, so I'm pretty happy with the deck as it turns out. Yeah, so thanks everybody for joining. It was great having you in chat. So I hope to see you next time. And yeah, see you around. Feel free to give suggestions and stuff. I might include them in coming streams. So have a good day. Bye-bye.